Welcome to the PNG Deforestation Alert and Monitoring System Overview and Guide. In this session, we will be going through the functions and features of the system. By the end of the session, you'll have a good understanding of how to use the system and feel confident in your ability to navigate through it. So let's get started and go over the training outline to give us an overview of the topics that will be covered. To summarize our training outline, we will guide you through the basics of using the PNG Deforestation and Alert Monitoring System. Our objective is to provide you with the necessary knowledge to access the platform and utilize its features effectively. We will start by showing you how to access the system portal and navigate through its different sections. We will also explain the structure of the platform and how to use the menus and search function to find what you need. Next, we will delve into the various panels, layers, and tools that are available on the system. We will explain the purpose of each of these components and how to use them effectively. To help you get started, we will provide some hands-on guidance and best practices for using the PNG Deforestation and Alert Monitoring System. This will include registering with the system, setting up areas of interest, and setting up email notifications for deforestation alerts. Finally, we can go over some Q&A and conclude. Let's move on to our summary and objective of the PNG Deforestation Alert and Monitoring System. The PNG Deforestation Alert Monitoring System is an initiative that aims to monitor and report on deforestation activities in Papua New Guinea, PNG. The system was first developed in 2021 by FAO under the GCF Readiness Project in 2020 for the PNG Climate Change and Development Authority as a reporting and monitoring mechanism. The system uses satellite imagery to monitor changes in forest cover in PNG, which is one of the most biologically diverse countries in the world. The data is then analyzed to identify areas of deforestation, and alerts are sent to local communities, NGOs, and government agencies to help prevent further deforestation. Since its inception, the PNG Deforestation Alert Monitoring System has played an important role in raising awareness about deforestation in PNG and in helping to prevent further forest loss. The system has also helped to promote sustainable forest management practices and to empower local communities to protect their forests. Over the years, the system has been improved and expanded, and it is now used by a range of stakeholders, including government agencies, NGOs, and the private sector. While challenges remain, such as limited resources and funding, the PNG Deforestation Alert Monitoring System has made a significant contribution to the conservation of PNG's forests and the protection of the rights of local communities. One of the primary objectives of this system is to enhance the transparency of PNG's REDD+ implementation, climate change, and biodiversity reporting, as well as support the monitoring and evaluation of policies and measures, PAMs, for climate change mitigation actions. The system has several potential applications, including monitoring potential deforestation areas in national protected areas, REDD+ project areas, and logging constraints areas more frequently, enabling responsible authorities and organizations, including communities, to take necessary measures against unplanned or unauthorized forest clearing and prevent further expansion. This system can also aid in detecting forest fires, identifying illegal logging activities, and monitoring forest health and carbon stock. In simple terms, this system aims to make it easier for the government and other organizations in Papua New Guinea to track and report on their efforts to combat climate change and protect the country's forests and wildlife. The system can be used to monitor and prevent deforestation in protected areas and other sensitive areas, as well as to detect forest fires and illegal logging activities. Overall, it's a useful tool for helping to maintain the health and sustainability of PNG's forests and natural resources. Now let's look at how we can access the system on our web browser. We can access the system using 3 methods as shown in the slide. The first method is accessing through a direct link that will be provided in the video description, secondly by navigating to the PNG REDD+ website, and lastly by accessing the system link in the PNG Climate Change and Land Use Geoportal. We will go through methods 1 and 2 during our hands-on for better understanding. When arriving on the system portal, you will be greeted with a base map of Papua New Guinea as in this slide. We have 3 panels within the system, which is the main panel that contains all our layers that we can select from, our tools panel that we will use to perform various tasks, and lastly our legend panel that gives us information on selected layers. Let's take note of the information icon that gives information about a selected layer if not sure what the layers represents or its source data. Now let's go over the main panel and tools panel in detail. Within our tools panel, let's go through each of the buttons and their functions. The first 2 buttons on the top are the zoom in and zoom out controls. These 2 controls helps us zoom in and out of specific areas of interest on our base map. Below the zoom buttons, we have a share button that enables us to share an area of interest or layer via email or social media. Next to that, we have the print map button that is used to print AOIs either in landscape or map only view. With the draw or create button, this function is used to create areas of interest by drawing polygon shapes over our base map for analysis. The search or find button is used to search specific areas either by longitude and latitude or landmark name. Finally, our measure tool is used to measure the area of any polygon or layer we select. The controls on and off functions as an on and off button for the tools and main panel that hides them from the base map when not in use. Now, let's get into our main panel and its tabs in more detail. The main panel consists of 4 tabs. First is the Info tab that gives a summary of the system. The second tab is the Layers tab, which contains all the preset layers that we will go through in depth later in our next following slides. The Data tab is the third tab on our main panel that is used to create or select areas of interest for analysis. And the fourth tab is our Analysis tab that will be used to analyze data around a select area of interest. Let's dive into our Layers tab in more detail, as this tab contains a lot of area data that will be used as the basis for our analysis. Our first sublayers is the Land Cover Dynamics layer. Let's go over each in detail. The Tree Cover Loss layer shows the changes in tree cover loss and gain over time and displays areas where tree cover has been lost. The Tree Cover Gain layer shows areas where new trees have been planted or have naturally regrown. The GLAD Alerts layer provides up-to-date information on deforestation alerts. This layer is updated every week with new data and allows you to track changes in forest cover over time. The VIRS Active Fires layer displays current active fire locations detected by NASA's Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suite, VIRS. This layer can help identify areas at risk of deforestation due to wildfires. The Integrated Deforestation Alerts layer displays combined information from the GLAD Alerts and Tree Cover Loss layers to provide a comprehensive view of deforestation across Papua New Guinea. Our next sublayer in the Layers tab is the Land Use Layers tab. This tab contains the following visual data for analysis. The Forest Logging Concessions layer, which displays areas where logging is permitted. The Environment Protected area, which shows protected areas such as national parks and wildlife reserves. The Agriculture Cropland plots, which displays areas of cropland across Papua New Guinea. The Red Plus April Salumii and NIHT Topeo, which show areas designated for reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, Red Plus. And finally, the Admin Province and Country, which display the administrative boundaries of Papua New Guinea. Moving on to our land cover layer, let's go over each component. The Intact Forest Landscape layer displays areas of forest that are undisturbed by human activities. Next is the Primary Forests layer, which shows areas of high biodiversity forest that have not been significantly impacted by human activities. The above-ground live woody biomass layers show the amount of biomass and tree height across Papua New Guinea. The Tree Cover under displays the density of tree canopy coverage of the land surface across Papua New Guinea. The Land Cover 2000 to 2020 layer displays changes in land cover over the past 2 decades. And lastly, the tree cover height, which show the tree canopy height across Papua New Guinea. Within our climate layer, we have the following layers and their descriptions. The potential carbon sequestration rate layer, which shows the amount of carbon that can be stored in forests. The forest greenhouse gas emission displays greenhouse gas emissions from deforestation and forest degradation from 2001 to 2019 and 2001 to 2021. The forest carbon gross removal that display the amount of carbon removed from the atmosphere through forest conservation and reforestation efforts. And lastly, the net forest carbon flux, which displays the net exchange of carbon between forests and the atmosphere between 2001 and 2021. Our second last layer in the Layers tab is the Recent Imagery layer, which displays the most recent satellite imagery available for Papua New Guinea. This layer is updated every few days and can be used to track changes in forest cover over time. Finally, our last layer within the Layers tab is the Base layer. This layer provides a variety of different base maps for visualizing the different layers on the portal. These include Landsat 2017, WRI Mono, WRI Contextual, Planet, Topographic, Imagery, Imagery with Labels, and OpenStreetMaps. By switching between various base maps, you can have a proper visualization of the landmarks and features when overlaying with other layers. So now that we are familiarized with the panels and tools in the PNG Deforestation Alert Monitoring System, let's go through the methodology of the system and do some hands-on. As highlighted in green, we will be doing hands-on with steps 1 and 3. But the overall process for using the system for monitoring and reporting will cover from steps 1 through to 7. Step 1 involves us to prepare an area of interest using the DAMS. Once this is done, step 2 comes into play where a satellite detects potential deforestation and analyze the area of interest we have created. In step 3, we subscribe to alerts and receive email notifications on our area of interest. Step 4 requires us to download and convert these data to assess and verify land use change using Collect Earth, which is a free software tool used for monitoring land use and land cover changes by combining satellite images with ground-based data. Step 5 in the methodology is ground monitoring and verification using GPS or Android applications and ground monitoring and verification using drones for remote areas. Step 6 involves statistical analysis and reporting using Collect Earth and Saiku, and finally, Step 7, which is informing responsible organizations for the necessary actions. Now that you know more about the different layers available on the Papua New Guinea Real-Time Deforestation Alert Monitoring System, you can start exploring the portal and using these layers to monitor deforestation in Papua New Guinea, and we hope you find the portal to be a valuable tool for monitoring and protecting Papua New Guinea's forests.